Hi, tonight we're going to talk about the circle of life. Life is a circle, not a straight line. So the end of one passage is the beginning of another journey. Life is one big circle where everything is connected with smaller circles of happiness, despair, and good times. So if you're having a hard time, know that the good times are coming around. The circles seem to unwind and become a spiral when we find our place in life. And life comes to a full circle because we get higher. If we are not motivated to get high, then we need to change our circle of events. Life is a continuous circle that spirals up and down in the rotation of life as death expands and joins our circles in the infinite. We are all connected in one big circle if we expand our circle of love and compassion to include everything. We proceed to full circle, but in a spiral, the atmosphere changes because it takes us higher. The circle is simple, and our life becomes simple the higher we go. But the problem is, it is hard to be simple. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Circles, like the soul, are never ending and turn round and round without a stop." Einstein said, "As our circle of knowledge expands, so does the circumference of darkness surrounding it." Pascal said, "Nature is an infinite sphere which the center is everywhere and the circumference is nowhere." When we discover who we are, our life changes, and so does our circle of friends, because the wheel of life turns. The wheel turns, making a circle around us, so we can invite people in or provide a protective barrier to vicious people, so we can carry on at a distance. Living creates good times and bad times. So when we go through the hard times, learn and let the wheel rotate, because the good times will come like summer and spring. As we move forward in age, we seem to have a higher standard for our inner circle and are more selective. We want to know love, so choose those who provide respect, ease, and friendship rather than stress. Our inner circle supports us when others allow us into their circle. We respect the closeness, so are optimistic and constructive, so everyone improves. Vultures circle around the dead or dying, so the defeated and the negative personalities want to crush and overpower the weak. Therefore, what we permit or consent to is what proceeds in our circle. So we need to abandon the circles that bring us down. Rafiki said in The Lion King, "It's the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love." Osho said, "Accept yourself as you are." And that is the most difficult thing in the world because it goes against our training, education, and culture. From the very beginning, you have been told how you should be. Nobody has ever told you that you are good as you are. We are confined or set free by the circles we construct for ourselves and the people that encircle us. The judgments and opinions of haters and losers can penetrate our inner circle and decrease our love, so we have to be careful. Sharks go into a frenzy when there is blood in the water, and negativity has the same effect on our mind, causing us agony and agitation that leads to hysteria. Our soul consciousness encircles and penetrates our mind, so it can lift us out of the narrow circles of life that cause outbursts and craziness. When religion corrupts and oppresses the mind, it dictates our decisions and severs us from consciousness, so we lose the ability to think and become aware. Narrow beliefs are not facts. They are thoughts that can lead us to perceptions of hell. If we choose, therefore, if we fear and hatred finds a place in our mind, we need to disconnect from it and have fun, be light, and enjoy spiritual consciousness in heaven. We don't have to hate the perpetrators for misleading us or wish them harm, because that goes around, because what goes around comes around. They only harm themselves. We can circle around any spiritual practice to stay present in spirit and consciousness, to be grateful and happy for our awareness and dance if we feel it. Rumi said, "Come out of the circle of time and into the circle of love." The Lion King says, "Life's greatest adventure is finding your place in the circle of life." Rafiki says, "Oh yes, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or you can learn from it." In the circle of life, we go through cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, which most people think is the end, but it is the beginning. The circle of life rotates with the choices we make, and when we think it is finished, focus, because there is a lesson to be learned. Our identity or ego will not go away in this lifetime, but we can learn from it and reduce its grip on us by spiritually expanding our awareness. Ego is the center of our circle and draws our attention to it with magnitude and intensity. So we defend it. When I was a child, we used to play with a toy we called Chinese handcuffs, because they were made in China, and they were made of woven bamboo material into a hollow tube. It was like a pipe that you put one finger from each hand in, and when you tried to pull the fingers out, it got tighter and tighter. The harder you pulled, the tighter it got. Like the ego, the way out is to relax the tension, so the fabric lets go. In the same way, we let go of our ego and the mental hold on us by expanding our spiritual circle and widening it to include the infinite. Rumi said, "When you lose all sense of self, the bonds of 1,000 chains vanish. Love yourself completely. Return to the root of your own soul." Eckhart Tolle says, "When we accept that all relationships are here to make us conscious instead of happy, then relationships will offer us perfect alignment with consciousness." The spiritual journey is not about getting rid of the ego, but the awareness of who we are. So we are guided by spirit and not urged on, constrained and pressured by ego. Relax so you can listen to consciousness. It loosens all pressures and is one with the wisdom of nature. Consciousness has no circles, as it is one with everything. Only our ego, agitations, and beliefs separate us. So let it be the guide so we are not manhandled by ego. Life is full of circles that we don't control, lessons, unhappiness, and suffering. But it also shows us love, beauty, visions, and new possibilities. So embrace it all in consciousness. A Zen saying is, get rid of the ego and act from the spiritual self. Lion King says, we are all connected in the great circle of life. Thank you.